73. And what I'm going to talk about just for a few minutes is the downside of doing strategy sessions, because I want to give you all a clear picture of what it looks like when you're selling. Like if you're going to sell one-on-one coaching, for the most part, you're going to do strategy sessions with people. And you might even do some if you're doing group, but generally if you're doing group, a lot of times you will have closers in some cases. But I've done over 3,000 strategy sessions, worked with 300 people, and and I love doing strategy sessions. I love having the conversations with people, and I love doing it, but there is a downside to it, and I'll kind of walk you through that. Um, so for me, the biggest downside to doing the strategy sessions is when you talk to people who clearly have inferior ideas. They are in idea mode. They are not in startup or setup mode. They never created anything. They never sold anything to anyone. They never, what we would call, made their own food, which you have to be able to do. And then, like I said, unfortunately, a lot of them have faulty ideas. They have a misconception as how easy it's going to be. And then the other thing is, a lot of times their ideas are completely inferior, and probably in 99.9999% of the cases will never get that, will never work. Like they're selling something, selling something that nobody wants to buy. They have fallen in love with an idea that completely misses the mark. There's no market for what they want to sell, or the market they want to sell is so small that they would never be able to reach the market. Because this is the thing, the smaller your market, the more expensive it's going to be to get in front of your target market. And the more expensive it's going to be, the more you've got to charge. And so there are just a lot of problems here. But I talk to a lot of people who think they've got the greatest thing since sliced bread. And when I start having conversations with them, it's clear that they have absolutely no basic understanding of marketing, no basic understanding of sales, no basic understanding of how they're going to get in front of a group of people. And the bottom line is, if you're going to do this, you have to have built some kind of an audience. Without an audience, you'd better have a very, very large amount of money to run Facebook ads. And running Facebook ads to an untested offer or product is very, very expensive. See, the deal is, you run traffic to a group of people and you make sure the funnel works and you make sure buyers come out the other end of it, and then you take the money from that and you scale with traffic. But the problem is, you don't have a tested offer, and without a tested offer, you're going to spend a lot of money to get that offer to work, and that's a big problem. And then, like I said, unfortunately, a lot of the people I talk to, they're wanting to sell for too low a price. They're wanting to sell to a group of people that aren't easy to find. They're wanting to sell something that group of people probably isn't going to want to buy. And you've got to create something that people want, and it's got to solve a very, very big problem in the marketplace. And if you're not doing that, you're really fighting with one hand behind your back, because if you do all of that, it's still very difficult. And so a lot of these people show up as inventors. They've got this invention idea, and all they do is they look at the amount of people in the world and say, if I get 1% of the people to buy this, I'm going to make $74 billion or something. And that tells me they have no basic understanding of marketing, no basic understanding of how much it costs to get in front of a buyer. And we see that a lot. And so when you see someone and all they're doing is looking at this large number of people and say, I just need 1% or 0.5%, and I'm going to make $1 bazillion, that tells me that the person doesn't understand that getting in front of that group of people is going to cost you $1 bazillion. It doesn't work that way. You don't just put something in front of people and then they're also wanting to sell at like a $20 price point or something. So, and what I call this, and like I said, what I don't like about it is essentially telling someone their baby is ugly. And that's really what it is. And so someone has came to you with this idea that they're so sure is going to work, they're scared you're going to steal it. And I have to basically say, you're not going to get there with this. This won't work. There's nothing sound about this idea. There's no reason anyone would want to buy it. And if you do this, you're going to lose millions of dollars or ever all of the money that you have. And so and remember, these people who show up on a strategy session and they ask you to sign a non-compete because they're scared that the idea is so good you're going to steal it. And they think the idea is so good that it's like they got to get it to market before someone else. They love this idea, and they basically spend every second of every waking day thinking about this idea that's completely flawed. And like I said, it's very, very difficult when you have these, what I would call come to Jesus conversations with people. And you basically have to say, look, you're not solving a problem in the marketplace. You can't afford to solve a marketplace for $20 or $50. A lot of people show up. They want to sell a course or a coaching program, and they want to sell for $97, and they just think that they just need 10,000 buyers. Well, if you get 10,000 buyers, you're probably going to be negative about $200 for every unit you sell. That's what it's going to look like, because it can cost $300 to $500 to get a buyer. That's the reason you need to be selling at $997, $1997, $24.97, $49.97, because the profit comes from all the money after ad spend and on the second sale. It doesn't come from the first sale. And getting those buyers can be very, very expensive, even if you have someone who knows what they're doing. A lot of people in our marketplace spend way more than $500 per buyer. And so you just got to understand that. And so the economics are that you have to be selling something very, very high priced, because that's the only opportunity you're going to have to make money. Now, this is the other thing. If they're selling something nobody wants and selling something nobody needs, the likelihood of them getting buyers is very, very low. And then the cost of buyers goes way, way, way up, because very, very, very few people are buying. And so that's the issue. And so I just want to get in here and go over this with you, because I love doing strategy sessions. I love talking to people. I love giving people ideas, and I try to help these people as much as I can. But unfortunately, the downside is you're going to talk to a lot of people who just they don't have a well thought out offer that's likely to work. And a lot of them are, like the cost to get it to a product to market or something, is going to cost them $3 or $5 million. They don't understand what it looks like. This is another thing that you will have. If you do this long enough, you will get a lot of people who will show up on strategy sessions who are looking for investors. They are pretending to want to have a conversation with you, but what they are essentially trying to do is pitch you on their idea to see if you won't put up money to get this thing off the ground, and you will get that. So you just got to be aware. But we are going to end out. I hope you got some value from this, and I'll see you all on the next video, and thanks a lot.